All right, lastly, we're gonna talk about Steph Curry and LeBron.
Yeah.
So LeBron clickbait, Steph Curry is clickbait. A lot of people always like to give their opinions on LeBron. Recently, Murder Mase, who does a It Is What It Is sports podcast show with Cameron, uh, expressed how he feels as though Steph Curry is the new GOAT. So, Steph and the Warriors, they took out the Sacramento Kings in game 7 of the Western Conference first round of the playoffs. Steph scored 50 in the game. A
Ooh,
lot of people are talking about this.
ooh.
And so Cameron and Mace were doing like a little live session talking about Steph. And Mace put it out there that he thinks that not only has Steph passed LeBron, but that LeBron is the new GOAT. So uh
That's
interesting,
Steph is the new
interesting.
goat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Steph is the new GOAT. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So uh this little article here is from Hot New Hip Hop. So it says Mace dubs Steph Curry better than LeBron. Mace knows what it is like to be on top of the world. Currently on Spotify, the rap legend has 2 million people per month listening to his music. That's interesting. I didn't know that. With his top song "Feels So Good" earning over 127 million plays. Now the rap icon is moving on to discussing highly debatable sports takes. In a recent Instagram live with Cameron, the pair discussed the talents of LeBron James and Steph Curry. While both respect the game of both players, Mace believes that Curry is the better player. The Warriors sharpshooter has continued to climb up the greatest player of all time list. Recently, after the Warriors' opening round victory over the Kings, many were making the case for Curry to be a top 10 player of all time. However, being compared to being on the same level as James hasn't been much of a conversation. However, it makes sense that this discussion would finally come up. Check out the comments and question in the video below. So we'll skip all that. So we'll just go ahead and play uh, Mace's comments here. So let's see here. Again, we won't play the whole thing. We'll just play a little piece of it. Mace is actually pretty funny. I didn't know Mace was as funny as he is. I don't know if he's like, I don't know if he's kind of, on a little something to ease his mind whenever he's doing this kind of stuff, but he's funny. Mace is hilarious.
Yeah. I didn't. I didn't
So,
know. I didn't know he was a comedian like that. I didn't know
yeah,
he was a funny dude.
right. Me neither. So yeah, here's the Instagram live exchange between Cam and Mace. So here we go.
Steph Curry, man.
Steph Curry
It's,
is the new
it's
GOAT.
Steph Curry, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Steph Curry just went.
them niggas, man.
Yeah, Steph Curry just set the record for Game 7 all time.
Yeah,
Is he better than LeBron?
he's better than LeBron.
No, I ain't gonna say
Better
that.
than LeBron. Steph is the new GOAT.
No, no, no. Steph had it at the time. This is what happened. This is the breakdown. This is what
He
happened.
gotta be the new GOAT, killer.
Now listen. We was about to find out. Steph won one, then LeBron won one, and then Golden State got Kevin Durant, so they went on a run like nobody was losing when KD got the Golden State, nigga. Come on now. I fuck with. Listen, I'm a Steph Curry fan, and we about to find out. This is a super dope series, nigga. But
You see that last move Steph did for the 50 though.
yeah, he went marquee.
Yeah,
He from Harlem. He went marquee.
give to
But
my
what the
move.
fuck is Jordan Poole doing on some G shit? What the fuck is Jordan Poole doing since he got the money? Who is
All right, so there you go. May says Curry is past LeBron and that Curry is the new GOAT. I don't know what new GOAT means exactly, but that's what May said. We're going to use it for content anyway.
That's right.
So, so that'll probably get a lot of people are probably going to talk about this ad nauseum, especially for the next couple of days because they're getting ready to play each other in the next round of the conference semifinals in the West. And whenever LeBron's name gets brought up, it tends to get a lot of attention. So What did you think about what Mase had to say about that?
Yeah, it's a hot take for sure. He's gonna have to qualify that. And so I guess new GOAT meaning, because I guess it gets re-ranked. So you can just get re-ranked easily. So I guess Steph just hopped him because of 150-point game. And it wasn't just 150-point game, but it wasn't in the finals. So I don't know what makes it this so special, but it was special. And I mentioned this before, and one of long conversations. I don't remember which one it was, but we were talking about basketball players and people's definition of it. And I mentioned that Steph Curry is a better basketball player than LeBron James. He plays basketball better than him. No, he can't fly out the gym. He can't do all these, crazy things athletically. But when it comes to basketball and understanding how the game is supposed to be played, in my opinion, Steph plays it the right way. He's modernized it for sure with all the shooting and all this other stuff. But when it comes to still respecting the craft of basketball, he does that. And if I was starting a team, I would want Steph Curry on my, prime whoever. Prime LeBron or prime Steph Curry. I'm taking prime Steph Curry.
Wow.
Why would I, and hot take, right? Why would I take prime Steph Curry? Because my team is going to win. My team is going to win because of how he plays basketball. LeBron plays front runner basketball. Now, he's relying on his teammates more. Now he's playing small forward. That's what I've been asking him to do his entire career. Play small forward. And dominate the ball when you need to, but play small forward. He never did that. It was always LeBron ball to me. And LeBron ball can't beat real basketball. That's why the Mavericks handled the Heat the way they did. And what was that, San Antonio? It just handled us. And it was because they were playing basketball the way it needs to be played. And we was out there front running, just trying to beat them with athleticism and LeBron ball. So, so now LeBron plays a more holistic game. But his spirit is still there of I mean, not anymore, not as much, but he used to always want to pound the ball and be ball dominant. And I got tired of that. And so now, like I said, he just hangs out in the post where he needs to, runs the break when he needs to, and does his thing as a small forward. And I really enjoy this brand of LeBron versus Cleveland or Miami LeBron. So, but in a nutshell, that's not his prime, and that's not the LeBron people want to take. They want to take high flying, D Wade throwing passes from the other half of court and LeBron catching it and windmilling it. That's the LeBron they want. And I say that I'll take whatever prime Steph is. This could be it. Who knows? But I'll take I'll take prime Steph, and I would rather have him build my team instead of LeBron. So to me, he's a better basketball player. So what about you, sir? Do you think that Mase was reaching here? Hot take here. Do you think Steph Curry is a better basketball player than LeBron? That's a fair question.
Yeah, you put some real hot takes out there.
Hey, man,
I can't wait till we put this video on the channel. I'm looking forward to those comments. I'm looking forward to the comment section on this one. Steph's not better than LeBron. And I'm not a LeBron fan. I actually have pretty much been a lifelong LeBron detractor. But as I've said before, it isn't because of LeBron himself, although he does do certain things that get on my nerves, like his passive aggressiveness and his, mainly his passive aggressiveness, where he'll do certain things that just irk me, like try to get coaches fired and teammates traded. And then when the media finds out about it, it's like, oh, LeBron doesn't. I don't make decisions. That's the front office, bro. You had something to do with that.
And by the way, hold on. And that comes with LeBron if you draft him.
Right? Go on. Agreed. Understood.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of stuff that he does, I've never really liked. But outside of that, I've always just kind of been a LeBron detractor because of his media attention. As I've said before, he's gotten the benefit from what I can tell, he has been the recipient of the greatest superstar double standard in the history of sports. In that, whenever his teams win, it's because of him and only him. And when his teams fail, it's because of everyone else. Coach needs to go. This teammate needs to go. It's always something. The owner is bad. It's always something other than LeBron just didn't get it done. And I've always hated that dynamic that he gets the benefit from. Now, I can say that, but I can also say Steph's not better than, like, he's just not better than LeBron. I think what Mase said is an easy thing to say in lieu of what just happened. It's recency bias. But I mean, LeBron is an enigma. So he's the greatest physical
specimen.
I hate
ever.
you. Yeah, and I hate using that word. I don't like the word specimen
Hey
because
man,
it sounds
slavish.
Yes, it does.
Well, that's what he is. So we're gonna call it what it is.
He's the greatest physical package ever for a basketball player.
Oh, that's
And
right.
he's a Swiss Army knife in terms of his skill set, dribble pass. He's become a better shooter in his advanced age. He wasn't always a very good shooter. I think that LeBron is interesting. LeBron, just to kind of address some of the points that you've made, LeBron, like, it is LeBron ball. And he has oftentimes not. So people like Carmelo Anthony, for example, or even Luca. Luca's a current player who gets hit with this, and rightfully so. They get hit with the stigma of being ball dominant, where in any given possession, those guys are going to always have the ball for the majority of the shot clock and for the vast majority of all of the possessions in which they're in the game and not actually on the bench. You never really heard that said about LeBron. LeBron sort of gets the benefit of being considered someone who's not ball dominant, but a lot of LeBron's career, he has been ball dominant. He's had the ball a lot, but he has the ball a lot because the way that his game is set up, you have to surround him with people who can't have the ball in their hands. So by default, you have to surround him with people who shoot, and people who shoot tend to be otherwise deficient offensively. These tend to be people who can't shoot off the dribble, who can't create off the dribble, and they tend to be defensive liabilities. So you have to surround LeBron with people like Kyle Korver and J.R. Smith and Malik Beasley and Sasha Pavlovich and Mike Miller and Shane Battier, because it allows him to be able to do what he does best, but it in turn makes him ball dominant. So I only bring that up because there's a reason why, because I think you're right. He is ball dominant. He doesn't get criticized for being so, but he is. But there's also a reason why. But the reason why is because when you have LeBron, you got to play LeBron ball. But I think if in totality you amalgamate LeBron's skills and his career achievements and the fact that they are both tied in terms of championships, I can't go so far as I can't say Steph's a better player. I just think that they're different. And it hurts me to say that because I'm not a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
But I think if push comes to shove, if you consider both of them to be superstars, if it's a high leverage situation in the finals and you want somebody to stop LeBron and then you want somebody to stop Curry, you're going to have an easier time figuring out a way to put someone on Curry to limit him, as opposed to putting somebody on LeBron to limit LeBron. And I think that's why in some of those final situations, Curry kind of wasn't as dominant in those games as he had been in the prior rounds, because in that matchup when it's tight, you can just put somebody on him to limit him, Kawhi Leonard or LeBron himself, somebody like this. And so if you look at the box score, LeBron's averaging like 32 a game, whereas Curry only averaged like 22 or 23 a game. They're just different bodies. And in basketball, size and height tends to win. And so I think if you put that into a vacuum with LeBron's career achievements, I can't say that LeBron is better. But here's the thing. It bothers me. I feel like Curry's career is starting to become minimized from the standpoint that people always want to point to Kevin Durant and the KD years. And they always want to try and make it seem as though it's advantage LeBron because nobody would have beat those teams. They couldn't be beat. They had KD. As if LeBron hasn't benefited from some of the same sorts of things. Like, look, when LeBron played for the Miami Heat, I can go down the roster. There was still a prime. It was still a prime Dwayne Wade and a prime Chris Bosh. These were two players who, in their own rights, were considered superstars at the time. You had three perennial top 75 all time. LeBron is top two by most people, not me, but most people consider LeBron to be top two all time. On the same team, surrounded by smart people who knew what to do and didn't miss if they were open, such as Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Shane Battier. You can throw shade at Mario Chalmers if you want, but if Mario Chalmers was open in the corner, he wasn't missing. The team was well coached, well structured, well conditioned. Like, I feel as though LeBron benefited from having a superstar team around him. Two guys, top 75 all time. A lot of people think Wade is top. There are people who think that Dwayne Wade is a greater shooting guard than Kobe Bryant. There's people who think that. So what I'm saying is you have a guy like that on your team with a guy who's top 75 all time in Chris Bosh. But we don't want to minimize LeBron's achievement playing for the Heat, but we will minimize Curry's achievement playing with KD on the Warriors. To me, at the most, those things are a wash. If you're going to discredit what Curry achieved when playing with KD, then you have to kind of take a look at what LeBron did with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and say, all right, well, that was a super deal too. What's the difference? Let's call a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. And then, as I have said before, if we want to pick nits, in 2016, when the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship, a lot of people view that as LeBron's crowning achievement. They benefited from a lot of breaks that went their way in that series. Injuries, Kyrie Irving dominating Steph Curry that entire series, and Draymond Green being suspended for a closeout game at home. These are things that you cannot ignore if you're going to want to throw in my face Kevin Durant being Steph Curry's teammate. So my whole thing is LeBron better? Yes, in my opinion. Has LeBron to this point had the greater career? Yes. But LeBron's played 20 years. I don't know what year Curry's in, but he ain't close to 20. And if Curry wins this series, hypothetically speaking, and he goes on to win another championship, he's got one up on LeBron. My point is it's a worthy conversation to be had in terms of who's had the greater career. Now, of course, if you include the counting numbers, the stats, the box scores, the points, rebounds, assists, then no, LeBron's got that going away. All Curry has is the shooting numbers. But if you want to look at it with some nuance and you want to pay attention to the context, it's not an outlandish statement to make. But as it currently stands, I think what Mase said is just clickbait. I can't give that to Curry at this point. I'm not going to disrespect LeBron that much. He's done a lot in his career, scored all of these points. He's got all of these rebounds, points, and assist numbers. All of the double-double, triple-double numbers. He's got the 4 MVPs. He's got 4 finals MVPs, 4 championships, and he's a good player, his game, and all of that kind of stuff. I just can't take that away from the guy, although I do hear what you're saying. But I don't like a lot of the arguments that people try to make in defense of LeBron towards Curry with this whole Kevin Durant super team thing. I don't like that because LeBron played with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and a bunch of guys who didn't miss when they were open in Cleveland. And once again, took advantage of breaks that went their way. And then when he played in Miami, took advantage of breaks that went their way and played with 2 top 75 guys all time and another guy in Dwayne Wade, who a lot of people look at and say is maybe top 3, if not top 5 shooting guards ever. Like I said, there's people who are in the media who are smart, reportedly, who think Dwayne Wade is better than Kobe. So you got a guy who a lot of people think is better than Kobe, who played with this guy. So why can't I use the whole teammate thing against LeBron? And that's where that whole double standard thing comes in that pisses me off when it comes to the LeBron argument. But be that as it may, I just think Mase is kind of doing this clickbaity thing. He's being funny. He's trying to carve a name for himself as a podcast personality. And I got love for Mase. He's not out here airing out his personal dirty laundry on talk shows. But nah, I would still have to go with LeBron on this for now. But I do think that if Curry starts to, in the postseason, rack up more rings and Finals MVPs, it's not a crazy art. It's not a crazy conversation to be had.
No, I just think that Curry is a better basketball player. Meaning, so if we're doing this some top tier thing, and they say, hey, you get a chance to pick between Steph Curry or LeBron for your first pick, I'll say, I'll take Steph Curry, thank you. And because I already know where it's going to go after that. And then you'll tell this person, all right, pick your other five, the other four for your starting lineup. Just tell them to go. I don't care. They can pick the next four, and, give them Shaq, give them Tim Duncan, give them, whatever, give them Isaiah Thomas. Guess who's running point? LeBron. Who's bringing it down court? LeBron. Hey, Shaq, you can't stand in the corner. You're clogging up the paint. So you didn't even structure your team right. You just got to give them shooters.
Yeah, you have to.
Just as you mentioned, that's how he's effective. This is prime LeBron we're talking about, not LeBron that's playing small forward right now. And if we're talking about prime LeBron, he's going to relegate everybody. He's going to render Isaiah Thomas ineffective.
Yes. Isaiah Thomas would have to become a shooter playing with LeBron, a 3-point shooter. And when he would miss, because Isaiah Thomas was not a shooter like that, they're going to say, oh, Isaiah's just not that good. You got to get
we thought he was better than this. Give him Magic. Who's bringing it down court? LeBron is. Why LeBron got to bring it down? Everybody know Magic was the guy that, whatever that. Hey, but LeBron played, Magic played forward. He started at center some games, so he could play anywhere. They're going to justify why LeBron got to bring it down. Y'all still going to lose. So my thing is, give me the basketball players. So if you give Steph Curry Isaiah Thomas, he going to make that work. Hey, I'll just run off and shoot threes. You handle point.
Yeah.
You give him Shaq, that's an issue. Steph hitting those threes and then you got to guard the paint like that? That is a major problem. You can't say that for LeBron. But you can say it's a major problem because those are two massive athletes. But LeBron is going to be clogging up the paint. He can't do his high-flying wire acts if Shaq's calling for it in the post. But Steph can get a lot of threes. So my thing is that Steph is a better basketball player because of his mentality. And if I was starting a franchise, I'm taking Steph. He clearly showed he's a winner if they have the same amount of championships. I argue his percentage is better in the finals. Because LeBron,
it is.
And LeBron, with his freak athleticism in the soft East, was just getting there with ease because he's the biggest, fastest dude getting there off athleticism. And yeah, he want to pound a rock, but he don't want to take the last shot. And that's another issue. It's not like Steph is some super killer man in the playoffs. Trust me, he had his moments where people was calling him out too. But the thing is that, hey, to each their own, I still think he's a better winner. And he understands the game better. And if I had a chance to, post-career, who would be the better head coach, even though it clearly shows that basketball does not translate well. People that play the sport cannot coach it. But if I had a chance to pick one, I would take Steph over LeBron because LeBron would do his philosophy of somebody just clogging up the middle and just jacking threes out there. And Steph Curry would play a more holistic, free running, and everybody knows their role type of basketball where I don't even need to score 40 tonight. for us to get off. So for him to drop 50 the way he did the other day with such ease, he was toying with them at points. I think that showed a lot of people that, hey man, he's making this look easy too. He dropped 50 and he gave him work. So it was an efficient one. So yeah, man, I'll advocate for Steph all day. I don't know why it took so long for people to at least start giving his name relevancy in conversations, but if he did what he did at Davidson, this is why I give him so much credit. Because he took Davidson to what?
I didn't even know who Davidson. I didn't even know who Davidson was.
Exactly, bro. And it's not like that squad was stacked. It was clearly him. And that's when I started giving guys credit for when they hit the league and because they played for a tournament team that people didn't know about. Like Jameer Nelson and what's that boy name? Delonte West and them when they was playing for that team, whatever the hell that was. George Mason, I think. Well, I don't know if that was them. But clearly they were nice enough to make a name for themselves in a tournament so that they could show that they're competent in the league. Wade made his name in the tournament. And so when Steph was doing that, I was like, hey, this is more than him just being the son of. This guy's actually wielding this team with this form of basketball. Then when he went to Golden State, it's the same free-flowing selflessness type of superstar stuff that I love. So I
hear you.
I would build my team around that. Give me Spoelstra and Curry. We've got issues.
I hear you. I hear you. I just think what most people amalgamate, and it's a subjective conversation.
Yeah.
So when most people are looking at this, they're amalgamating different things. Because I would agree that in a vacuum, Steph is a more skilled basketball player. So if we're just talking about skills, I would say Steph is a more skilled basketball player because he's in his 6'2" body. From a skill standpoint, he knows how to he can do more basketball things than LeBron can, I would say. But LeBron is 6'8", 260 and can dribble, pass, and shoot. So LeBron can impact more things than Steph because of the physicality.
Right.
And what a lot of people do is what a lot of people do with LeBron is they just look at that and they combine that with how much he's won and his numbers. And then they automatically are like, okay, LeBron is just greater or better or whatever. But if you look at it contextually, I think Steph Curry is more skilled, but LeBron is just a better Swiss Army knife. He just impacts things more. But I hear what you're saying. And I hear what you're saying about all of that. I don't think that I would go the LeBron route either. But I don't know if I'd go Steph either. I would probably do like, Kevin Durant or somebody like that. But I hear what you're saying though. And it's what I don't like about this kind of stuff is when people apply that double standard to defend LeBron, and people always want to bring up stuff like they always want to bring up teammates and coaches and super teams to try and bring down other players to prop LeBron up, and then of course they'll spare no expense to bring up the numbers, but why can't we do the same thing with LeBron in the Heat or LeBron in Cleveland?
And check this out. It's every offseason he's lobbying for a brand new team to get the premium of whoever's on the trading market, whoever's in free agency. They accumulate there's no off moment with the LeBron.
Yeah, well, it's because
changing.
Yeah, it's because LeBron drinks his own Kool-Aid. So he listens to the media who always say because whenever LeBron doesn't win a championship or loses in the playoffs, it's always like, why did this happen? Oh, it must be because these teammates aren't good enough or this coach isn't good enough. Fire this person, fire that person, trade this, trade that. So LeBron heard that for so long. He now drinks his own Kool-Aid. So now he himself is, as you said, lobbying for wholesale change in the offseason every time things don't go his way. That's a media creation because it's so beyond the pale and incomprehensible to imagine a scenario in which LeBron just lost. Everybody else can just lose and we can call it a day. But if LeBron just loses, it's because something must have happened. Somebody must have got hurt or team. It's usually roster and coach is what I've noticed. is that that's usually to blame. That's usually what's to blame for why LeBron loses in the playoffs because of the roster and the coaches. And here's the thing with that. It's not that that isn't true. It's that other superstars don't get that. So when
Right.
other guys lose, no one's
Right.
talking about the coach and the roster. They're just like, you didn't get it done.
Exactly.
But when LeBron loses, it ain't about him not getting it done. It's about the rosters and the coaches.
Somehow,
and sometimes
some way,
even,
somehow, some way, the salary cap works,
yeah.
and everybody just completely shifts an entire roster. Or even,
Yeah.
like I said, it's every offseason, the name has changed. There's a new point guard in there. There's a new whatever. He's always got the best resources. And that's why I bring it up. It's an advantage for him. And so,
Yeah.
so every year when he's going to the finals, every year, that's why he's not winning every year. They got all the resources to get you there, but you got to be a ball player to take a game and win. And as we're all seeing what Jimmy Butler's doing, if LeBron had an inch of that, there's no stopping him in 8 of them. He wins 8. But because he don't have that in him, he only won whatever the hell he won.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing with LeBron. If he had that, then what Jimmy is showing basketball players is what they all is lacking nowadays. Y'all all lacking that. Jimmy Butler's coming straight out of the 90s and 80s on y'all ass. Now Tatum trying to get a tip back dunk and roar and stuff. It's like, oh no, it's too late now. Jimmy already showed you dudes that he's on a different level when it comes to being a competitor.
Yeah.
And LeBron, if he had an ounce of that, there is no stopping that human being. He was a literal freight train when he played for us. It was immaculate stuff to watch. And if he played like Jimmy then, you're not stopping him. Period. We win every championship. 1, 2, 3. We would have won him. But since he ain't got it in him, he'd rather keep passing it. You know, I'm a facilitator, remember? I'm the greatest all time. Yeah, and he start facilitating.
He's the greatest Swiss Army. He's the greatest Swiss Army knife of all time. And like I said before, I will give him my greatest Iron Man award, the longevity award, the guy who played at the highest level the longest. But he'll never be the greatest player ever to me. And I don't think he's number 2 either. But I think, you know, greatest and best are 2 different things. Greatest is like what you were able to do and then your career achievement. That's why, like, you know, people say Patrick Mahomes already is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. But who's greater? Brady. Brady has 7 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes cannot be greater than Tom Brady with just, 2? How many does Mahomes have? 2? So, you know, it's got you can't be greater if you don't win more in the postseason juxtaposed to Tom Brady. And so when it comes to great, yeah, LeBron still has that because numbers, MVPs, finals MVPs, stats, all of that crap. But better, I think if Curry continues to win at a high level in the playoffs and eclipses LeBron in number of championships and finals MVPs, why can't we talk about at least him being maybe better? But LeBron will always be greater because I don't see Steph catching LeBron in those numbers categories. And I don't see Curry, maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt Curry gets to a point where he's in position to win 2 more MVPs. And that's what these people look at. They look at numbers and trophies and counting stats and all of that crap. But skill-wise, I do think Curry's better. I do think that it is easier so long as the organization knows what it's doing. If it's a dysfunctional organization, all bets are off. But if it's an organization that knows what it's doing, it's easier to construct a roster around Steph Curry that allows him to be him while simultaneously allowing the other guys to also be them. Mm-hmm. With LeBron, you just got to surround him with people who can shoot in the corner and play defense. That's what you got to do with him. No post players, no guys who shoot perimeter shots. 3s or bust, and put in effort on defense. I think it's harder to construct those kind of rosters and win championships, which is why he's 4 for 9 or whatever his ratio is. But I will also, if I'm being honest, I say LeBron at this point is greater. So to Mace's point, I think what Mase said is kind of silly, but I have tremendous respect for Steph. I think the book is still out because if Steph wins more championships, you can continue to talk about that. And most importantly, I don't like the claim. These LeBron advocates who always want to bring up other people's teammates and super team this and all of that stuff always want to suppress LeBron's super teams and his great teammates and the things that went his way. Ray Allen hitting the clutchest shot ever in that closeout game in game 5 against the Spurs in 2013. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Ray Allen doesn't make that shot, series is over. The Spurs are going to win that in 5 games. Ray Allen hits that shot, they go to overtime. The rest is history. The Heat win the championship. What if Ray Allen doesn't make that? What if Mike Miller in that same series in game 7 doesn't make 7 threes? 7. I think Mike Miller in that game went 7 for 7 on threes. He had 21 points, 7 threes made, and attempted 7. Well, we don't want to talk about that because with LeBron, we ignore nuance. What about Draymond Green getting suspended for game 5 in 2016? And Andrew Bogut getting injured, tore his ACL in game 1 of that same series. And Andre Iguodala can't guard LeBron because his back is messed up. And then Steph Curry tweaked his ankle. Kyrie was boogieing all over him and hit the biggest shot in game 7 in Golden State. So the thing that I don't like about LeBron is when it comes to other people like Kobe or Jordan, everybody wants to bring up nuance and context. But when it comes to LeBron, we got to ignore the nuance and context. And it's just about the result. No, we're going to apply the same standard. Or at least I am. I'm not going to give you that. So you can miss me with all of that stuff when it comes to LeBron. And the only reason why he's a greater player than Steph up to this point is because of his numbers and his MVP trophies. And, the jury is still out because if Curry continues to win the championships, and I don't know if that will happen. We'll see. But if Curry wins 2 more and has 6 to LeBron's 4, he will be Finals MVP if he wins 2 more rings because no one else is better than him on his team at this point. 4 Finals MVPs, they got ties in that. 2 more rings. Nah, we can talk about greater player at that point, in my opinion. But the LeBron zealots won't have it. The advocates will continue to advocate on his behalf. And I understand it. I'm just gonna say my piece. So there you have it.
Like I said, hey, at me, bro. At me, dog. What I'm saying is, if the reason why I don't give him all that stuff that y'all be giving him, that's even for the old heads, because I don't ran into some old people that be sitting here justifying this LeBron stuff. I ain't hating on the guy. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. But like as I just mentioned, if you take Jimmy Butler's mentality, as you guys have coined him playoff Jimmy and all this other stuff, but just look at what he did in this year's playoffs. And you take that and you put that in prime LeBron's body. Now tell me LeBron doesn't win more championships. Tell me that. Tell me that he will be undoubtedly the greatest player of all time. People wouldn't even argue the MJ stuff no more. How could you? This guy is dominant on all facets. So since he doesn't have that in him, that's the part that everybody talks about. Oh, the killer instinct ain't there. The this and that. That's what because we're all witnessing, and everybody's just baffled. It's like, yeah, we haven't seen this since the Wade and Kobe days. We haven't seen guys take over in the playoffs quite like this. So just imagine if your greatest superstar had it in him. Then at that point, it'd be undisputed. It'd be undisputed because Jimmy Butler knows when to fall back. You're so great. You don't have to use your superpowers every moment. You're so good at doing everything, passing the ball, getting rebounds. I hear all these stories that people that play with him talking about how cerebral he is on the court and all this other stuff. Yeah, he know your ass need to stand in that corner. He gonna know everything he needs to do for your ass to stand in the corner. Oh yeah, he knows this guy's defensive tendencies. He watches all this film. Oh, he does that somehow to make his stats better. But none of it is to rip the heart out of the opponent. And that's my whole thing with him. And y'all can say that, hey man, he ain't gotta have that to be the best of all time. Well, you must not know according to y'all standards. Because it's between him and Jordan. And Jordan had that.
To them, it's between him and Jordan. It ain't
Yeah,
between him and Jordan to me.
that's what I'm saying. To the people, it's like, hey, if y'all want to add that up, y'all want to call Jimmy Butler Jordan's son for a reason. Because he's got that gene that LeBron don't. We would be calling that the LeBron gene. How he can just close people out. So, yeah, man, he's had the opportunities. He had the resources. He's a freak of an athlete. He is talented. I'm not taking none of that away from him. I'm just saying he had all the opportunities. 9 of them, or like you said, whatever. And his record indicates that of somebody who's average when it comes to getting there and winning. Sorry. So, and with somebody with such world-class athleticism, he should have won more. If y'all want to turn this into an individual thing. I'm not. I say basketball is a team sport. And so LeBron in his world is an individual playing a team sport. Steph Curry to me is a team player playing a team sport. And give me that 10 times out of 10. We're winning. We have a higher win percentage. So, but yeah, man, we can go on all day about this, man. Y'all done got me right at me. Damn it.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree with a lot of that. I just know, when it comes to that greatness, when it comes to the great stuff and the GOAT stuff, the factors that contribute to it all is what people look at in terms of how they evaluate it. But I just don't think that it's just a closed book and that Steph can't reach that. If Steph is fortunate enough to continue to play at a high level in 20 years of playing, let's revisit what has happened in Curry's career in year 20. But yeah, LeBron's been playing for forever. He's been playing for 20 years and he keeps putting up his numbers and stuff. So it is what it is. But I think what Mase is doing is recency bias. It's fodder for the channel for sure, but right now it's probably still advantage LeBron, even though I think that he is not what a lot of his fans believe him to be. So there you have it. But I'll go Team Steph all day on that, and we'll see what happens this year and the rest of the years as Steph continues to play.
We should have a tiers thing one day. Just get all sporty with it one day. But I gotta hear your top 5. Actual top 5 that would actually run and play.
Yeah.
And we gotta see what that is, because I'll be interested to see what your guys would look like against mine. Because I think my team, of course, would win. Because I'll take Steph happily with your LeBron centered roster. So,
I probably have LeBron on mine, but I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. I would though. I don't know. We have to think about that.
That's what I said. That'd be an interesting one.
I got to think about that because I might not. We'll see. I don't know. But either way, we'll go ahead and close out tonight's stream, man. That was good stuff. Shouts out to Mase. LeBron is not the greatest player ever. Nor is he the second or even third. Well, he might be. I don't know. I'm 100 with it, and I can substantiate my claims very clearly. But yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream, man. Another Constant Approach video in the books. My name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. As always, man, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. We certainly appreciate the support. Let us know in the comments what you think about the commentary in our videos. We certainly appreciate that. Be on the lookout for Constant Approach on your podcast feeds. We're getting that set up so that you can listen to it on the go without having to, be on YouTube. Check Constant Approach out on Instagram at Conapproach, CONAPPROACH. And you can also find me on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. So as always, man, we appreciate the support. Everybody who has been subscribing to the channel, thank you very much. We continue to grow this community, and we very much look forward to doing this as often as we do, and seeing the feedback that we get, agree or disagree. So as we continue to keep this train moving, man, we certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Yep. And the name is Dogon SS. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS or on YouTube at Dogon SS. And also Hurricane Dogon here on YouTube. Go like and subscribe over there. As you also like and subscribe over here while also hitting the bell for the notifications. All right. So thank you guys for joining us, and all the new subs and all the old ones. Thank you guys for holding it down and helping us get to our 1K goal. Goddamn. All right. And as I say on every part, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. All right. Don't let nobody knock you off your pivot. All right. And until the next time, guys, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yep. We certainly will, man. Our Miami Heat are currently beating the Knicks 93-90 with no Jimmy Butler, and Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are both playing. I'm liking it. And yeah, man, we got Lakers Warriors game 1 coming up after this. So we'll, everybody watch that game and let us know what you think about our comments on LeBron. And you can even factor in your impressions of that game once it's over, and hit us up in the comments and let us know what you think, bro. But until next time, we are going to go ahead and sign off. Another Constant Sports video in the books. Thank you for joining. We out of here. Peace.
Go Heat. Go Canes.